This is ICT 111. Welcome to Fundamentals to Computers, ICT 111, a fundamentals program from Oak University. My name is Mr. Imasiku, and I'll take you through the fundamentals of computers. So what are we talking about when we talk about the fundamentals of computers? We're talking about everything to do with the computer, what you see, the software, when you open your Word, the hardware, the tangible things that you see. And there are about more than 10 or so other sub courses in the whole category of fundamentals. So I'll just take you through one of them today, and that is computer security. Computer security. Okay, what is computer security? When you talk about computer security, you're talking about securing your computer, just like in a home. If you think of how you're going to secure your home, some of you have got a lot of money, you want to keep your money in your home. The first thing you think about is security. What security measures are you going to put? Now, are you going to use a dog? Are you going to use security guard, unarmed? Are you going to use an armed security guard, or are you going to have a very tall wall fence with barbed wire and all that? So before you talk about the security measures that you would want to put in place, the first thing you do is you find out who is outside your wall fence, who is going to be able to come in, so that you know what type of measures to put as a countermeasure for that. So the first thing we're going to do, before we even define what computer security is to give you a highlight of what computer security talks about. The first thing is, it talks about the computer. Okay, the first thing that you have is the computer. Those are the three components. The next, you have the human there, and you have the web. So these are the three factors that we have in computer security: the human, the computer, and the web. These define what computer security is. We'll introduce one more factor to all this, and that factor is, okay, we'll give him a name later on, all right? So he's the latest factor to the whole ball game there. In computer security, we are talking about, okay, in computer security, we are talking about securing the computer. Securing the computer from the internet, securing the computer from man there, all right? So these are the two definitions we have. Now, when you talk about computer security, we now define it. What is computer security? This is securing the securing of your device or computer from an unauthorized persons. All right. So from an authorized person. So you have person A here. Is he authorized to use a computer or not? Okay. Have you authorized information to come from the internet there or not? In computer security, this whole realm is what is called cyber security. When you talk about cyber security, you're talking about the whole security from this gentleman here to the computer, to the web, to our next friend here, whom we're going to give out information to as to who he is later and why he's a sad person. Okay, so that's computer security. Now, we talked about going outside the fence to find out what we are going to face, what is going to come to our home, so that we know what type of security measures to put. Now, we now introduce our friend here. This is a person called a hacker. Who is a hacker? A hacker is a person who gets into or logs into your computer or device via the website or via the internet. So he logs on unauthorized, okay? Hacker uses an authorized method. He doesn't knock, all right? He doesn't knock, and he just comes in, enters your computer, or puts in whatever he wants to put it there, and he's out of the computer. Now, we are in our home. We want to put security measures. We don't know whether to put barbed wire, whether to have dogs, whether to have armed men, because we don't know what's coming. What does a hacker do? A hacker is a fellow who logs onto your computer unauthorized. Now, what does he do? He gives what are called viruses. Okay? He gives what are called viruses. So, what are viruses? We'll talk about that a little bit later. Viruses are just a piece of what the hacker does. Everything that a hacker does is called malware. Okay? Malware is like saying a disease, all right? So you have a disease or diseases. So those are called malwares. Now, what type of diseases do we have? We have TB, you've got HIV, AIDS, you've got cancer. Those are types of diseases. So malware is like disease. Now you have types of diseases. You've got viruses, you've got virus, you've got worm, okay, and a lot more others there. You've got Trojan. All these are types of malware. So what is malware? Malware is anything that is, okay, let me write that one. So malware is anything or a program that is programmed to harm the device. Okay? So the first thing is that it harms the device, and it is intentionally it is intentionally developed to harm the computer. So a malware is intentionally developed to harm a computer, and these are types of malware: viruses, Trojan, worms. Now, what are these? Okay, and how do they harm? A virus, for instance. Okay, a virus harms the computer only when it is activated. Only when you click on it. So you can have a folder that has got viruses in. You would have to click on the folder for the viruses to come out now and start disturbing your computer. If you have a worm, you don't want to play with a worm. See, I'm standing here. Imagine I'm standing like this, and I'm a worm in your computer. I'll just do, there'll be another me here, another me here. There'll be three of us. Then there, two this side, two this side, and then I'll do another again, and they'll keep on multiplying. So, a worm multiplies or replicates itself without being activated in any way. So you find you had 2 folders. By the time you reach morning, you have 50 folders because it has replicated itself. Okay? So we'll talk about these in another session. But just to give you the basics, now we know what we are dealing with because we know what type of malware we are dealing with. So we now go on the other end, okay, and look at how we are going to protect ourselves. Now, the protection of the computer there, the protection, the computer where you now begin to build a wall fence, you put barbed wire or electric fence, is what is called firewall. Is what is called firewall. So when you have a firewall, it means you are now building a wall fence. And now from the firewall there, you can plug in or you can program it in the form that you'd want to have it better. So you have your firewall, you can now say, okay, I don't want websites from here. You close that, you close that. Now you create a wall where when these viruses come in, they find that the wall is built. Now, there are other viruses that can jump over the wall. Now, those are the ones where the user here has to input an antivirus into the system so that the antivirus there fights everything that is coming in as viruses and worms. And this is your system in relation to computer security. And this is what provides for each and every single system. And most of them, let me just state one more aspect here, is that with computer security, it's not only in terms of antiviruses or your firewall. It's not only the protection of a computer, it's also the protection of your system. So it might be your network system. Your network system should be protected. Your computer or devices should be protected by a firewall because we have a hacker who is able to hack into your system via the web. And he intentionally logs into your system to ensure that your files are corrupt, whatever the intentions might be. And this is basic of computer security. We'll give you more in the next videos.